Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some fresh summer spring rolls, or other known as Vietnamese spring rolls. So stay tuned so then you'll know how to make fresh summer spring rolls with the peanut dipping sauce. First, you want to start making your vermicelli noodles, and you'll want to soak these noodles in cold water for about 20 to 30 minutes so then your cooking time can be lessened. Boil your water until it simmers, and then what you'll want to do is add in the soaked vermicelli noodles. It's important to stir your vermicelli noodles gently so then you don't break up the noodles but it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Since I pre-soaked the vermicelli noodles, it's only going to take about 8 minutes, the max, to cook. And once it's done cooking, you'll want to drain it in cold water. And then once it cools, then you'll want to empty out the cloudy water and then put in some tap water. And you'll want to do this until your vermicelli noodles water is translucent. It will take a few times, so just be patient. And you want to make sure the noodles are cool before you touch it, or else it's going to be too hot. Then you'll want to shape your noodles and place it in a colander so then all the extra moisture of the water from the noodles will drain. Then all you have to do is set it to the side. We're going to get started on the shrimp. I purchased this package of shrimp from Costco and it already came deveined, so I really didn't have to do anything other than put it in a bowl and defrost it with some cold water. And it'll probably just take less than like 10 minutes for your shrimp to defrost using this method. Once your shrimp is defrosted, then what you want to do is clean it. And when I say clean it, you just want to peel off any shell and the tail end of the shrimp because it's already been deveined. The hard part was already taken care of for you. Then you'll want to simmer some water and add in your shrimp. And this will take you less than 5 minutes for all your shrimp to cook. I did not add any extra salt because seafood already has its own saltiness. If you don't want to hassle with cooking the shrimp, what you can do is just buy cocktail shrimp that's already cooked and just use that for your spring rolls. I'm taking out all the shrimp that is already cooked, and then I put it under some cold water so then I can handle it. And what I'm going to do is just cut the shrimp in half. And you'll want to continue doing this for all your shrimp before you get started, because it's really important that you have everything ready before you get started rolling your fresh spring rolls. Continue to cut all your shrimp in half so you have 2 pieces until you're completely done. And then once you're done cutting them in half, then just put them in a bowl and set them to the side. And now we're going to cut this Vietnamese ham. Now this is optional. You do not have to use it, but I am going to use it for this fresh spring rolls. I'm just cutting it up and then chopping it into the size that I'm going to shape my spring roll. Like I said earlier, this is optional, but if you would like some extra meat in your fresh spring rolls, you can add turkey or chicken deli meat instead if you're not able to find the Vietnamese ham. Now, let's get started on making the peanut dipping sauce. You will need hoisin sauce, and this is very important that you make this peanut sauce so then your spring rolls will taste really good. And then you'll need some creamy peanut butter. Now, I've never used chunky peanut butter, but if you do try it, let me know how it turns out. And optional, you can use some dry roasted peanuts, which I will crush and put later on in my own dipping sauce. And the sriracha is also optional because I like a kick to my peanut sauce. And I'm also going to use some hot water to help emulsify the hoisin sauce and the peanut sauce together. You will need 1/3 cup of the hoisin sauce. Depending on how many spring rolls you plan to make, then you can make more or less. So this is 1/3 cup of the hoisin sauce. And then you want to add in 3 tablespoons of the creamy peanut butter. Microwave it for 30 seconds and then take a small whisk and then go ahead and mix it. And if it's too thick, what you can do is add in some of that hot water. And I ended up adding about 5 tablespoons of water, and then I also added in some garlic powder. powder, and that's basically it. It's so simple to make this peanut dipping sauce. And depending if you want your peanut sauce to be thick or a little bit loose, then you add more or less of the extra water and continue to mix until the peanut butter and the hoisin sauce emulsifies. If you have some trouble mixing it, put it back into the microwave, but it should turn out to be this consistency. And I'm going to use the crushed peanuts later in my own dipping sauce and also to sriracha. I'm making this for my family, so not everyone can eat spicy. I peeled the cucumber and now I'm going to slice it. And what I want to do is take out the seeds. You do not want to use seeds in your fresh spring roll. So just cut it the size of your Vietnamese ham or the size of the spring roll that you plan to make. And continue to do so until you're all done. Now let's get started on the herbs. I'm going to use a variety of herbs in the fresh spring roll. And here I have some green onions, fresh mint, fresh Thai basil, which I'm really lucky it comes from my mom's garden, some lettuce, and also some cilantro. Now the herbs is really up to you. And you also will need some rice paper, and it's important that you use lukewarm water, not hot water, and that's the tip here. Then you want to do is just soak in your rice paper with some very lukewarm water. That's really, really important because it's going to continue to soften as you add in your ingredients into the spring roll. Now what I like to do is place the lettuce first to help manage all the rest of the herbs. Now the order of the herbs and the cucumber does not matter as long as you end up with the vermicelli noodles last, then you're fine. So I just added some green onions, some Thai basil, and now some fresh mint. And depending on how much herbs you like in your spring roll, that's how much you put. I like a lot, so I'm putting quite a bit here, but don't overstuff your spring roll because you're going to have a hard time rolling your spring roll. Then what you want to do is once you have the cilantro on, add the cucumber slice, and like I said, all your veggies and herbs are optional, what you want to add. Then top it off at the end with the noodles. Just make sure you top it off at the end with the noodles. And make sure that you're not overstuffing the spring rolls, because if you do, you're going to have a really hard time, like I said, rolling it. So once you have the vermicelli noodles on top of the lettuce and the herbs, then you'll want to do like a 3-part of your spring rolls. First is the herbs. Second is your Vietnamese ham, and third is your shrimp. And you want to place the shrimp down with the orange side down, so then when you roll it, you can see the pretty color. Then you want to take one end and roll it over your lettuce. So that's why it's so important to put the lettuce on the bottom, because it helps hold everything together. Then you want to pull in the sides. It's kind of like an envelope. Roll it over the meat, and then finally roll it over the shrimp, and it's going to give you a nice presentation so you can see that nice color of the shrimp at the end. And that's basically how you roll a fresh spring roll. Since you have already a mise en place ready, you can just basically have your whole family around the table and they can dip the spring roll wrapper and roll it themselves so they can customize it. So this time I'm not going to add any of the noodles. I'm going to show you how to roll again. So just go ahead and roll the first part with just your vegetables, and then roll it over with your meat. Fold in the size of your spring roll, and your third roll will be the shrimp. And that's basically it. You continue rolling until it's completely rolled to the top, and you have your fresh summer rolls, also known as your Vietnamese spring rolls. And you continue to do so until you're all done. It is best to eat the fresh summer rolls right away versus making them overnight and then eating it the next day. Now you can, but I prefer to just make it the same day of and eat it as soon as I roll my fresh spring rolls. And as you can see, my dipping sauce, I added the chopped peanuts and a side of the sriracha. I really hope you enjoy my take on fresh summer rolls, also known as fresh Vietnamese spring rolls, as well as my peanut dipping sauce. Make sure you comment down below and let me know what you would like to see next. Bye guys!